right, man, we back. Episode 8. Episode 8, that's right. Hey, let's, real quick, subscribe. Stop playing. I need to get my subscribers up, you know what I'm saying? Me and my guy ain't got to get the subscribers up. Trying to get that loaf, you know what I mean? So,
Episode 8, we up late. You know what I mean?
So we got some good topics for the people. We got some good, I'm going to jump right into it, man. We got, the first one we want to talk to y'all about is Anthony Simons.
First of all, that brother, it sounds like you stole my name.
A little bit. I mean, but
I ain't offended with Anthony.
But you know, there was only one great Anthony, and that's Anthony Hardaway.
That's my guy.
Shout out to him getting that Memphis job too. So Anthony Simons goes to IMG. So here's a little bit of his backstory if you didn't know. Graduated from Edgewater School in Orlando or somewhere in Florida. Goes to IMG for post grad. And, you know, one of the top players in the country. And now, since he is now 19 years old and a year removed from high school, he is eligible for the draft, the NBA draft, and he is taking that route, a la Don Maker, yeah. So, here's my controversy with that. Obviously, it's a loophole, right? Like, here's this rule in place that, you know, if you go to college, you got to go for 1 year and you got to do the whole college thing, even if you're ready to go pro right now, right? But yet, as a continued high schooler, still playing high school competition, him and Don found a way to go straight to the league out of high school. So like, which one is it? Is what's bothering me? Is it you got to go to college for a year? Or can you go to a post grad and if you're good enough, you still play against high school level competition and go straight to the league?
I mean, for me, it's like, it ain't, I mean, for me, like, I don't really think it's that big of a deal. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, it's obviously it's a flaw in the system.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I mean, ultimately, the player has to be good. He has to have an above average, like, following.
Mm-hmm.
Scouts have to know who he is. And then he has to get an invite to the draft. So, like, to me, it's so many ifs that the normal player doesn't even have that I can't even hate on these guys for being able to do it because, like, you can't be, like, you can't be normal.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And this even happened.
But,
like,
and it's not a hate on Anthony. Like, you know, get it how you can get it. You know, because I know for anybody that picks up that basketball, that's the dream, is to play in the league. But my thing is just the rules, bro. Like, what is it? Is it one and done, or is it like can every kid find an avenue to play post grad, and then you know if you're good, like Ben Simmons could have did that then, right? Or
true.
You know, your Dennis Smiths, your Harry Giles, your Idris Adebayos, you know what I mean? Like any one of these dudes could have went and played at, well, I'm assuming like a Brewster, and went to the league. So, I don't know, man. Like I think this is definitely a flaw. I think you know, it's sort of a slap in the face for me anyway to kids because it's just like, you know, that's a path that you definitely don't see. Some kids are even taking it a step further and going overseas and playing for a year, right? The Brandon Jennings route. But I just think it should be like if we're gonna do one and done, like first of all, let's just eliminate the one and done. Figure something else out. I have solutions that possibly could work, but nobody's listening to me. Nobody's calling me for my advice. So I just think that if we're gonna do something, we should stick to it. It shouldn't be 30 different ways that you can slide in through the back door. Pause. You know what I mean? To get into the league. If you can get there, if you graduate high school and you're good enough to play, NBA scouts know who you are, you should be called up and given the opportunity to show your stuff.
Yeah, for me, man, I think the NCAA is just whack as hell. I mean, for me, I wish everybody it was forced that everybody played college basketball because I mean that's the way we grew up. I grew up watching it.
Right.
And seeing the greats do that. I feel like the players should get paid because everybody's making so much money off of it. And I feel like if there was a stipend, kind of like work study or financial aid that the players got every month, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it should be dependent on their level. Division ones, you know what I'm saying? Like their schools bring in more revenue. So there should be a little more Division 2. You know what I'm saying? Like Division 3, you got to pay for it yourself anyway.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I wish, that we will hoop. I wish it was a 2-year minimum, not 3. You know what I'm saying? Not 3 necessarily for like football, but 2. Just because of the simple fact of like those 2 years will get the player better. If you ask me, I feel like because now you have to actually learn how to adjust. You know what I'm saying? So and then we actually get a chance to see you for 2 years. If you cook for 2 years, then you know what I'm saying, like you a lottery pick for the most part. And yes, there are times where guys can get it wrong, but you know what I'm saying, I feel like I wish kids would actually be in school for 2 years. And I mean if you're gonna allow that whole, I mean it's hard to say go 2 years and then you can't go to the NBA out of high school. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because like it's been proven that there are kids that can actually do
right. It should
you
be,
know what I'm saying?
It should be the
but
you can do that. If you can go out of high school, go.
Yeah.
But if you go to college,
it should be 2.
But and if it's 2 years, it should be incentive, right?
Yeah.
Because let's
the incentive should be you getting paid.
Right.
Stipend. You know what I'm saying? Like if they was to get paid, then what we talking about, man? Right. Because I mean, like at the end of the day, like you can't like we went over it in past Rand Report episodes. As far
Make sure y'all check that out. Go back.
As far as with like the revenue they make, you know what I'm saying, the jerseys, you know what I'm saying, like those kids ain't coming to see the old man in the office that make the damn bracket. You're going to see Miles Bridges.
Right.
Get out of here. So I mean, that's my take on it, man.
All right. Well,
that's my take on it.
Yeah, man. Well, good luck to Anthony, man. Glad you found a way to get up in there. Hopefully you get drafted early, make that bread. Next topic. Y'all ready for this? Compare and contrast. Right? Now here's what we mean. Here's what we talking about. We talking about if you have an opportunity, do you go to a bigger name school or do you go where where's the better fit? So I'm gonna be extreme, so I'm gonna let you go ahead with give him an example.
I think he's a North Carolina player. We're not trying to pick on him, but we're just going to use him as an example.
Okay.
Kid that's at Kentucky.
Sasha Keeler-Jones.
Right. I think he's the perfect example for this topic.
Okay.
Because he's a junior now at Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
We really didn't see him his sophomore year. He chose the big name school.
Right.
So you got your Sasha, or then you could compare it to, because originally, where did he commit to?
UVA.
Perfect example. Perfect example. I feel like UVA would have been a better fit.
Well, I mean, would it have? I mean, they got another footer, and I don't know for a fact, and I know Sasha and his family. Shout out to his mom's, his dad's little brother. And I don't know the fact, but this is me outside looking in. He committed there, but then they offered Jay. So I think that had something to do with, do they really want me here? Or, so now, look what I'm saying. Now Jay goes, Sasha decommits, he goes to Kentucky. Jay goes, he gets redshirted for a year. Mm-hmm. Now he's playing this year, or last year.
No, he played this year.
He
didn't get a lot of minutes.
Didn't get a lot of minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So, are we talking about the same thing? Like, could Jay have went somewhere else and been a starter day one? And
no, because I honestly think Virginia is the right fit for Jay.
Okay.
Jay's body needed to catch up.
Okay.
So as far as like the weights, you know what I'm saying, like him getting prepared to play the AC, like Sasha was way bigger, and if you look at his body, like he's a freak.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, like as far as him ready to play, and then you can kind of look at it the same way as far as like who did Kentucky? I mean, Kentucky had the last 2 years that kind of like played in front of him for the most part.
I think Bam played a little bit.
Okay, Bam, that's a freak.
Right. Wayne Gabriel, I think it was.
Okay.
Played a little bit in front of him.
Okay, it wasn't. Nah, Julius Randle's too far gone.
Yeah.
Ahead of that. But I mean, basically, let's take those guys out of it and just let's look at our typical North Carolina high school basketball. The way we came up with this topic is basically I mean, it's AAU season upon us, live periods coming, so you're gonna have a lot of guys that now is, I want to play on this circuit for this offer. I don't know about this school because maybe I want to play on TV. Well, basically, for me, my argument is I go against the bigger name school and I go with fit. The reason why I look at fit is because I feel like it's like when you go somewhere when you're wanted from jump, and by fit meaning you're going to play your freshman year and they see you being an all-conference performer later on, I feel like now a coach is going to spend more time really working with you one-on-one, molding you to the point of you actually being able to get through ups and downs.
Right.
It's a lot of stuff that people don't see that the college athlete has to go through.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like the behind the scenes stuff.
Right.
Not the stuff on TV.
Right.
But between the practicing, the film, you know what I'm saying?
Plays, all
Like
that shit,
the
yeah.
everyday, you know what I'm saying? The everyday wear and tear. Like these kids ain't got no lives. Like, man.
None
like
at all.
it's hard. Like it's grueling. So like to pick a name and then in those dark moments you feel like you don't have the support for that staff, or like you really not in the right situation. You know what I'm saying? Say if you're across America, that's way tougher than being in a situation where like you know from jump that you're gonna still have your routine of being able to get your shots up. You know what I'm saying? Coach is still going to, you know what I'm saying, like get you those same amount of minutes or those same opportunities, whether you make or miss shots. Like that can help you because ultimately you're still growing into a, you know what I'm saying, a young adult at that time.
Right. So, and one of the things I'm thinking about as you're saying this is that it's not easy. Like, it's easy for us to say, go with fit, right? But here's what I mean, and make sure y'all listen to other episodes, previous episodes, because we talked about this too. But if I'm a college coach, there's a 50% chance that if I'm recruiting Anthony Simmons, right? You've been baking. And I'm telling you everything you want to hear. Answer my question, Anthony. Why am I telling you everything you want to hear?
Because you want me to?
Absolutely. But when I get you, there's a 50% chance that everything I said to you was bullshit. I can tell you, because I want you, hey, you're going to play 20 minutes a game. Hey, I'm turning the keys over to you. Hey, this is your show to run. Coming in as the point guard. I can tell you all of that. But as soon as you sign that letter of intent, your ass is mine. And when you thought that you were a fit because of the attention that you were getting from a coach is not the case, it's damn near it's too late. You stuck. So it's just here's my response to that though, right? I'm not just stating a problem. The solution to that is doing and I said earlier issues, do your homework. If a coach is promising you all of this, look at who they have on their roster. Look who's ahead of you. Ask them what about that player. See if you can get film. See how they play. See if it matches your style of play. Because, they can be telling you this with the caveat that you need to adopt their system. And if you don't, your ass is on that bench. So it's so much that goes into right fit. And I'm sure that both of us can understand the allure of going to a big name, right? Like, come on, man. Like, Kentucky called me, I'm out. Like, that's the home or one and done. Like, I want that. But, like you said, will that fit who I am as a player? And if it doesn't, shit, I'm not one and done, right?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And I mean, I like the angle you took because at the same time, like, it is a two-way street.
Mm-hmm.
So players do have a responsibility of, you know what I'm saying, making sure they go to school in shape, making sure that they're answering, you know what I'm saying, the right questions before going to campus. And I mean, let's look at it from a division standpoint too. I mean, for my smaller guards,
Preach.
for my smaller guards, I feel like you have to understand the difference in being a Division I guard and being a Division II guard. Just having conversations with various coaches on their phone. If you're a guy that really looks at putting the ball in a hole, or you're a score first PG, then Division II is really where a lot of really where a lot of scoring guards fall. And it just so happens because it's like the bigs that go D1, like when you go D1, like what guards don't understand is you gotta feed the ball to those big dudes. Like those 6'7", 6'8", 6'9", 7 foot threes,
Yeah.
2 guards, 4s and 5s. It's the reason why they 4 and 5 stars. Like,
Right.
it's Marvin Bagley. So Trayvon Duval. That mixtape look a little different than what it did on the Elite 24 and all that. You know what I'm saying? That UA Duval we saw was flying through the lane. This year he was turning that screen around. He was making that bounce pass.
Right.
Because he had 2 lottery pick, you know what I'm saying, first round NBA prospects to get the ball to. And you can look at that. So it's just like, if you're a guy that's not trying to, you know, make high numbers in assists or really looking to shoot the ball a lot, then the fit for you may be Division II, because what happens is, and what you have to understand and learn is that at Division II level, it's rare for you to get the big 6'8s and 6'9s that are multi-talented and skilled, because they fall to the D1 guys.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or they even fall JUCO and they still fall to the D1 guys.
Yep.
So now they have to look at, well, the person that has the ball in their hand the most for me, which is the little guy, can he fill it up too?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And by him being able to fill it up, now that there's a market for you. You know what I'm saying? But so many times it's like you're going to those tournaments and you're dismissing that coach that's following you. And that's the guy that's really hitting your phone, trying to get you on campus, like really coming to your high school. And you can't be disrespectful when it comes to that, because, you know, like that's the difference.
That is, I mean, that is opportunity. You know, we're not gonna sit and tell you, I need to know every school in the country, because that's unrealistic. But when a coach shows you interest, do your homework. You know, be thankful, be grateful, and then go home and look it up. Who are they? What conference are they in? You know, what type of players do they usually have? Like, you know, you and I both know some players that have turned their nose up at D2, and now as seniors in high school, because they're smaller guards who can fill it up, like that's their only option. And the real thing about that is, it's just like, you know, D2 ain't no fucking joke.
Yeah, it's nothing wrong with that guy.
Like it's nothing.
It's nothing.
I guarantee
it's nothing wrong.
If a D2 point guard, starting point guard, came up in the gym and you had the guard on one-on-one, he's giving you buckets, easy. And you will understand, like, the Division II level is like that. Like, the competitive nature is crazy. And I'm just talking from what I know in the CIAA, but there are tons of other Division II conferences, right? And you guys are paying attention. You see some of these D2s go and beat low major D1s. And that's another thing I want to talk about real quick on this topic. Those low major D1s that show you love, don't put them automatically ahead of Division II basketball programs. Because you'll go into that program because it's D1 and wind up at the end of the bench because you didn't do your homework, instead of possibly being a rock star at the Division II level. So,
and to add with that, man, it's just like, understand, become a historian of the game. Understand when these schools recruit you, who actually went there before you. The coaches, you know, the players, because it's like a lot of these schools have a deep history, and it's like some of you guys are getting interest and letters from schools. And then it's like, you don't even know how rich the history is. And it's like, if you're able in your 4 years to go to that school and be a part of a good team, like, the memories and the history and the tradition you'll be a part of, like, there's things that's bigger than basketball.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying, that you don't know. So it's just like, ultimately, I think, like, what we got to start teaching our young players to do is let's chase more jobs where me and Ray talk about it all the time, where we can do basketball all day, even if we're not playing.
Yep.
Like, even if it's a coach, like, even if it's you coming up with your podcast, like, or you go through it's refereeing, like, ultimately you're doing this because you want to do it forever in some type of capacity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, don't limit yourself to different situations, man. And this is be a good argument we can go back to, man. Like, there's a lot of blessings that come with going to that Carolina, that NC State, you know what I'm saying? Or, that UCLA, that Kansas, that Kentucky, that blue blood school. But at the same time, man, you may fit at Mars Hill. You may fit at Mount Olive. You know what I'm saying? Like, you may fit at Maryville College, Avery, you know what I'm saying? Bethune-Cookman, you know what I'm saying? Like, you never know. And, like, all you can do is do your research and ultimately, you know what I'm saying, like, figure out what's the best situation for you. But we just wanted to shed some light onto that today as well.
Especially parents, too. Make sure y'all listen. Another topic, last but not least, paths. Say it again, the paths. So, players, this is for you. Parents, this is for you too, because players ultimately turn to you.
Turn us up on the radio.
Right, turn us
on the iPad.
Listen, so what we talking about? We talking about comparing your path to the next player's path. Point in case, everybody is not going to get the hype at their sophomore year that a Dennis Smith Jr. got. Point in case, everybody's not going to come in their freshman year and get the hype that Harry Giles got.
Point in case, just because your homeboy reclassed doesn't mean you may have to reclass.
So we gonna drop some gems on y'all in regards to that topic. Like, so the biggest thing, and I know this is difficult because we are all human. So it is nature for us to look at the next person's situation and imagine and hope and think what it would be like to be in their shoes, right? Anybody that picks up a basketball would love the fame and admiration and the fans and the screaming and yelling and the packed games that a Zion Williamson gets when he plays. But the truth of the matter is, I'm going to pick on him a little bit. He didn't get that until his junior year, right? Nobody knew who Zion Williamson was as a sophomore. But somebody will look at that situation and be like, oh man, I want that, or I deserve that, or I feel like I should have that when they think of him, or one of the Ball brothers, or something like that. And it's just like, no, that if it grabs your attention, fine, but it should not matter in your uphill battle to be who you want to be on the basketball court. Kick it over to you.
For me, man, the biggest thing that I want to start off with when we're looking at this topic is it's just so many times, man, like, I feel like it starts kind of, I mean, we can look at social media and say it kind of starts there with, with them ranking a guy, giving a guy a mixtape too early, because it's like, honestly, like, I feel like the ranking in the mixtape is what screws it up early. Because now you got those guys necessarily thinking they made it, and they don't really have those O's behind their names. Because what happens with that mixtape is the attention.
What you mean by O's?
Offers.
Okay, gotcha.
Because it's like, all right, a guy will get ranked early, and then scouts and evaluators are anticipating him having a good summer,
Mhm.
and it's another kid that you never knew that really came and took that summer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like what I feel like kids don't understand is like the kid that came and took that summer was actually in the gym, and the other kid who we're trying to reach today was watching this other dude mixtape
Right.
and trying to make it that way. You know what I'm saying? Like basically what you'll see this year is you'll try to jump on that EYBL or that Adidas or that Under Armour team, and then you were already in a starting role with a great team somewhere else. And you was right there ready to bubble. But, you know, what you don't understand is, you know, ultimately they want to see you get better.
Right.
Like, there's a such thing as scouts or college coaches, not scouts, college coaches, knowing that you're only doing what you're doing because of the team you're playing with.
Right. Right.
Like, let's really look at it. Like, when it comes to your CP3, your Garner Rose, those highly rated, you know what I'm saying, sponsored programs, like, it's maybe one or two that has that Duke, you know, Kentucky offer.
Right.
Everybody else is falling like mid-major, low major, maybe even D2.
Right.
So, from the outside looking in, look at that and you tell, like, you really can't compare.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, it's like, number one, I think the first thing we need to focus on is don't compare to that other guy. Figure out what you're good at first. Then, after you figure out what you're good at, figure out what you're not so good at.
Right. Right.
All right? So now we know what we're good at. So now we know what we're not good at. Then the next thing of it is all right, how can I improve on that? And what position am I going to play at that next level? Because I may have a little bit more time to work on what I'm not that good at.
Right. At this program versus
Right. You know what I'm saying? If my position, you know what I'm saying, you know, doesn't make it mandatory for me to be great at that. You know what I'm saying? Because and so like you have to find a way to be unique.
Yep.
You have to find a way to stand out. You know what I'm saying? Like different from everybody else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that doesn't happen because everybody wants to be the same player.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They want to be the same player. They want to be on the same team. They want the same kind of gear. I mean, it kind of goes back to the whole making a good choice. All of this stuff kind of relates as really one big circle, right? Because one of the things that Ant said on one of the previous episodes was college coaches are paid to find you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you become really good at what you do and you can show a high level of understanding for the game, it doesn't matter where you play.
Mm-hmm.
They will find you.
Mm-hmm.
They will come see you wherever you are at. You could be in the backwoods of South Carolina somewhere, and they will find you. So it's just about, continuing to focus on you and not someone else. I mean, because mixtape culture and stuff like that, like it does hurt. Like you look at a player like Seventh Woods, right? And he got the hype early, 14, 15 years old, and has not lived up to an ounce of that at Carolina. And it's just like, well, what happened? Did mixtapes or society as a whole put too much basketball society put too much pressure on a kid because they expected him to jump over a kid and dunk it every game? Or, did he himself kind of believe the hype?
Yeah.
Believe the hype and not really continue to get better at what he could get better? Or did he think that he would go to Carolina and things would be the same way as it was in high school? These are things you have to look in the mirror and evaluate. And you do that when you kind of stay away from the comparison game.
And I think another point to look at is this too. I think I can step out on a limb and say this a little bit earlier. And I love them both, Kobe and Devon.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this year was the year of Kobe White.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to the state of North Carolina head up.
Right.
But when I was reading some articles from the McDonald's All-American practices, and it was like, Devon Dotson, the best point guard here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
And Kobe the best scorer here.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean?
it's like it's quiet as kept. You can tell like, like one's going to Kansas, one's going to Carolina. Two totally different players. They both going at it two totally different ways, and it's like, I think if you give me a guess right now, I feel like Devon will have the better first year.
I think so too. And here's why. And I definitely want you to take. I think he'll have a better first because he fits that mold of Kansas point guard. When you look at Devontae Graham and my guy from that's at playing with the Kings now.
Frank Mason. Like
he fits that's him.
Right, because it's like what makes Devon so special, whereas Kobe is his natural knack of just putting the ball in the basket anyway.
Right.
With Devon is just his natural leadership.
Right.
Bro.
Yeah.
Like, he's just like
here. You over here.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I don't gotta have 40, but it's gonna look like I had 40 when I'm done with it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I mean by that. And you can tell it's just like, they got both two totally different ways, both primetime guards, both can do whatever it is they need for their team to win. But that's a perfect example. I'm gonna do it my way, you gonna do it your way, and guess what? We both eating at McDonald's together. It's crazy.
Eating. I mean, and they're both fantastic players, man.
Right.
Like you could see how they embodied the game, but like, to just talk about Dotson a little bit more, man. Like, I think his impact on the game is not highlighted enough, and I think you see it now, obviously, because of the platform he's on. Mm-hmm. But I mean, he did it when he had Grant Williams, who was the SEC Player of the Year this year. I think he was. But like seeing how he dominates and making sure that the bigs get the ball, making sure he knows the spots on the floor, being able to kind of run a fast break and slow it down, and just the way his body control. I mean, everything is crazy. And then, I mean, it's just, if you are a fan of a point guard like I am, like the shit he does is high level. And Kobe is a different animal, bro. Like
when he turns it on, he keep going that head.
That head get the pop.
He start looking crazy and start talking to himself. I be like, oh shit.
I've seen him have single digits in the first half and finish with 40. Like,
son, when he get that glow, son, it's fake. Yo, that shit get the bopping around. Like, God! Yo, son. Yo.
Yeah, man, two fantastic players.
But and just to piggyback off Ray to kind of end this, man, and kind of end this story mode on episode 8, man. I want to tell y'all this, man. Like you just be you. You know what I'm saying? Young players, like, be you. Like, I understand. Like, this is where you at. You know what I'm saying? I've been in that place before, so I'm gonna break it down. Like, right now in your class, you're either a very good player in your class or your grade. You know what I'm saying? You know a lot of different guys, throughout the state. You may be a guy that's a local guy that everybody knows, or you may just be unknown. Maybe a few people know you. Like, there's a difference. It's like known, you know what I'm saying, then you know locally,
right.
And you kind of like, the guy that hoop at the gym, like, embrace it. Embrace that moment because, like, this the thing you have to understand is, like, before that guy got very known, he was that guy that nobody knew in the gym
right.
too.
Yep.
So embrace your different situation, and it's just like, you want to go and play against as many guys as you want to, but don't play and get them to see what it's like and get your own gauge, but then go back to the lab and do what makes you unique.
Yep.
Like, don't get focused on trying to do what another guy does. And a lot of different times, you may have people, evaluators, trainers, or whatever the case may be, that ultimately tell you an opinion, and you can respect their opinion and value their opinion, but they're not you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to know, and what we try to teach you how to do is what you're good at, what you're not good at, and where you're trying to go. And I mean, from there, man, just, figure out why it is you love the game, and then let us see through your skills, you know what I'm saying, like, how much you love it and how much work you putting in behind closed doors. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like from the Kobe and the Devon story, man, like, you can be a scorer, and you can be a defensive-minded, pit bull, 94 feet, different point guard. Guess what? there's a lot of different types of coaches out here, guys. There's coaches that love scorers. There's coaches that love guards that guard 94 feet. There's coaches that love bigger guards. There are coaches that love pick and roll guards. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's pick and roll guards. There's defensive guards. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's rhythm guards. But you know what I'm saying? Like, there's guards that can play over the rim. Like, there's so many different styles and types of basketball that there's a coach that likes it.
Yep.
That's going to like whatever better version of you that you can come up with, you know what I'm saying, from all those blood, sweat, and tears. There's a coach out there that's going to like it, but what the thing of it is it has to be unique. It has to be authentic. It has to show that love. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we're trying to teach you, and that's what we're trying to get you to understand. As long as you understand those two things, and you stay true to yourself and your game, and you get that chip, you're going to be able to play. And whatever level you fall on, you know what I'm saying, it'll work out. Because I was watching the Final Four this weekend on a note, and there's a kid from Michigan that started his career as a Division III player, and he's ending his career tonight as a Division I player. He's a senior. Like, started out D3. I think he played D3, D2, and D1. But I'm for sure he started out D3. That man played the national championship tonight for Michigan.
Right.
Like,
That's a crazy story right there.
that's what I'm telling you. Every path, every journey is different.
Yep.
But the way he found that was he was true to himself. He was true to his game. He ain't worried about what the critics say. He bust his ass. And as long as you guys out there go out there and do those different things, you know what I'm saying? You'll be successful, man.
Yep. I mean, and to close it out, man, I think those are fantastic points. One more thing I want to throw in there is just try your hardest not to play the comparison game on social media.
Yeah.
Try to stay. And you guys are human. We're all human. I'm just saying, if you're gonna do anything, use it as fuel to burn your fire to make you better. You know what I mean? Like, if you in a certain class and you see your peers getting offers, it's human to feel like you deserve that. But at the same time, face reality and do what you need to do to prove that you deserve that same type of love.
Perfect example. I can only imagine how it felt for Greg Gant early on when he played alongside. I turned him on.
That's my guy.
My guy. When he was playing beside, he was playing beside Joey Baker. You know what I'm saying? Joey get all that stuff. Dude, he the guy in the hoodie that's always besides Joey. All of a sudden, man, that man, it's his time. He been in the lab. He worked. And guess what?
Now he on fire.
He stayed true to himself. He stayed true to himself. And now he get those same letters too. Same arenas too.
Same with three ACC offers in 24 hours.
Yo, it can happen, man. It can happen. It can happen. Trust in yourself, man.
Same thing.
Stay true to you, just like the Rammy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We authentic to us.
Right.
There's no comparison. You see me out here with a headband on. I ain't even hooping though. You feel me? I ain't hooping, but I look like I'm hooping. You know what I'm saying? Episode 8, the Rammy.
Yeah.
We out.